Welcome guys, Spider here from the Sluggers. We're gonna go through the Gazelle startup today. As you know, Gazelle module is one of my favorites. There is actually 4 variants of it in the game right now. This is the anti-tank version, this is the mic version. There is a gunship version called the Lima that has a 30mm cannon with 9 folding fin rockets. Then the Mistral variant that has replaces the 4 Mistral air-to-air all-aspect uh, missiles. And the latest one that came out that's still in development is the gunship, which replaces the armament with a 3rd crew member with a minigun. So let's get into it, and this is how you start up the Gazelle from a cold start. So let's hop into the cockpit. And throughout this tutorial, I'll be referencing uh, a community uh, a community member who's created the, how can I say, idiot's guide to all these aircraft, Chuck, and his link will be shown in the bottom of the description. So let's get to it, and I'm going to be actually following that checklist off right out of his guide. So thank you for Chuck for creating these guides for us. So first thing is, number 1 is to close the doors. So it'll be right Control C, and let's close the doors. Correction, it'll be left Control C since we're on the left side. A little boo-boo here, you know. And as you can see, both doors are closed. So we're going to UV lights as required. The UV lights are these little units right up here and here that shine infrared light, almost like a black light, might as well say, down on the control panel. So usually I do is turn it all the way up, because even in the daytime it helps display the indicators and that. So we're going to next is go battery switch on. And battery switch on is right here. Battery switch is right here. Battery switch is on. And alternator switch on. Alternator switch is on. We just turn it on because and as you can hear, the gyros are starting to spin up right now. The battery switch has internal power. Alternator switch, we switch it on now, just as it's a master switch. It completes the circuit. The alternator is not functioning right now. It's not online because the engine is not spooled or running. And then we go to generator. Yes, this aircraft has both an alternator and a generator, both for DC and AC power. So all 3 switches are on and up. So next is the fuel pump. We're going to prime the fuel supply. So fuel pump switch is right here. I'm going to switch this up, and we're going to start the timer because we have to prime the fuel system for 30 seconds. Since the engine is up on the top of above the fuselage in a pylon, and the fuel tank is below, underneath the center of the transmission, it takes a little bit of time. Natural gravity will pull the fuel down from the engine. So right now we're just allowing that fuel pump to push it up and pressurize the fuel line to the engine nacelle and that. So we don't have a fuel starve effect and a wear and tear on the engine if we tried turning it right now. So after 30 seconds, the fuel is supplied. The fuel is primed in that. And it's about a minute right now. We're going to switch the uh, engine start switch to M, or operation. And we'll have two lights. One starter's engaged. The other one is the igniters are engaged. And we go back outside. We hear the engine spool up. You might notice the blades are not turning right now because the engine is at running idle. And we'll check down here, and the long needle is the engine supply. The short needle is actually the rotor. So as you see here, the engine's running around, say, 22,000 RPM. The starter has disengaged in that. So we have a good start. And the engine's at idle RPM. So we're going to go to the next step in Chuck's guide. Got to switch a page here, sorry. So we're going to get the rotors going. So as you can see, we have two things we have to do to get the rotor going. So we have to release the rotor brake, and that's this red lever here. I actually have it hooked to another set of throttles. So rotor brake released, and I'm going to slowly increase the throttle to about 25 to 26,000 RPMs. Correction, 3,000 RPMs. I'm actually reading the internal gauge there. And now I'm going to let as the clutch engages, I'm going to allow the rotor blade to synchronize with the engine RPM. And a view shot outside of the aircraft's going to shake a little bit. That's normal, especially in brand new. And as you can see here, the engine RPM and rotor RPM has synchronized. So we're going to increase our throttle to flight idle, or flight speed. The clutch in the Gazelle is a little finicky sometimes, so nice and easy when you increase the power. And as we get to flight RPMs, to see a couple things on it. Our generator has came online, and the alternator came online. So we actually have power going from the engine to all its systems and that. And I still noticed that flags have started removing themselves from the instruments, because now we have electrical power going to those instruments. So we're going to move down to the next thing is pilot heat, pilot tube heat. It's right here. It heats the pitot tubes in front to give us airspeed in that. We're going to set the magnetic brake for the trimming system. Set that to on. Give that power. Oh, correction. That switch up here, right here, is for the trim heater. Then we're going to set the magnetic brake on to activate it. We're going to activate the gyro system. Switch on. The gyros are going to start aligning and setting up. This is for the onboard autopilot. And we're going to wait for the talkbacks to give us a on indicator. And talkbacks have turned to the on symbol on both. And then we could go down to the autopilot panel. Switch the switch on to turn the autopilot system on. And then we're going to turn on the assist for the pitch, the roll, and the yaw. And as you can see, the gauges are aligning to it and trimming the blades out to it. So autopilot system is been on. Go to the next page. So set radar altimeter on. The radar altimeter is right here. And we're going to switch that on. It's on switch. And let's set the height to about 25 meters. And it's going to go through its, we set its danger altitude. And it's going to go through its test sequence. It has to energize the radar in that. We're going to center the 8-ball. And there we go. We're going to uncage the other, the standby ADI. And adjust it. There you go. We're going to turn on the radar warning receiver. You don't need it for you're just going to fly around, but we're going to do this for mission if we were actually going out on a mission. That's going to take a while to warm up and that. And we're going to turn on the initial nav. I'm going to switch this to 1. We're showing the initial nav is going to start being its align. We have to wait for all 3 of these lights to go out to calculate its position. Aircraft cannot move as the internal measuring unit or the navigation unit is aligning here. What I like to actually do is when I'm waiting for the gyros to align, I usually engage the navigation panel too at the same time, so both these are aligning while I'm going through the rest of the checklist. And all lights are out. That's telling me that the unit has been aligned. And we turn it to the next spot up, the next switch up to show our actual coordinates where we're at right now. I will probably go through a tutorial for this on another video. And when that video is produced, I'll put a link onto the bottom of this video. So as we see no error messages in that, we'll move on to the next step. So, option that we don't need to do, but we use, just in case, is if we are going to the battle like any other, unlike me, who just likes flying around every once in a while, we're going to turn the flare system on. Power supply is here. And that's checked. And we're going to open up the flare dispenser button. Yeah, this safety cover has to be up. And that is the Gazelle that is flight ready. So we're going to add a little bit of other things onto here. So we're going to turn the radios on. We're going to turn the FM radio on. The UHF radio. And the VHF radio. And that's how the startup is out. And let's get it mission ready. So we're gonna, imaginally hop over between seats. So we're over on the weapons control officer for the Mike or the anti-tank version. To get his items activated, we're gonna turn the TV screen on. And a neat little thing that someone showed me in another video is the slide cover, or the glare shield. It'd be easier if we see it from the other side. Neat little thing there. Okay, TV's on. We're going to activate the external camera. That is this guy right here. So we're going to turn this on to... We're going to turn the VCV mode switch to manual. Then we're going to switch the VRP power to on. And you see the camera is aligning. And we're going to activate the joystick to on. And we're going to zoom in the screen. As you can see, it's active now. And you take the joystick. I have it logged to my hotels. Move it around in that. And we can zoom up and down. Zoom into the control tower. And this camera also has an infrared camera, but it's not completely cooled yet. So we have to allow about 5 minutes. And we have two safeties. We have a laser safety here, the red covers, and the missile safety. So we're gonna undo these safeties. And now if you can see, if I laser this target, it is 697 meters away. And if we had missiles on board, we turn the switch to jolt, and that would engage the power to the weapons pods, the weapons support pods. As we don't have any missiles on this right now, it's going to show that it's not. And if you can see under the control panel is the missile selection key from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the startup for the Gazelle. This is Spider from the Slugger Squadron. And I hope you guys have a nice day.